come over and they shot. No, like it had a picture of that yesterday of those children here. Um,
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting everybody.
It is a very wonderful afternoon here on CEMTV, and ladies and gentlemen, it is time for CEMTV's Jolly Life. How are you doing today? I hope your day is going all right. With the weather predictions we made so far, we've seen at the very least a 95% accuracy, especially when it comes to Port Harcourt. The rains have been something else. And today on Jolly Life, we have quite the topic to tell you today because, honestly speaking, I, as a person, I have some personal, takes that I would want to share today, and Vera will be with us shortly, where she will give us her takes on the topic we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, we had quite the personality. Today, well, we'll be running it duo, as we usually do, but that doesn't mean another time we will not have another extraordinary guest here with us. I am Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short, and of course, this is Jolly Life. We're going to go on a very short break. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.
This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting everybody.
And of course, we are back from that short break. This still is Jolly Life, and you are still tuned to CEMTV. I remain Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And of course, as I said earlier, I'll not be doing this alone. I'll be running it with my usual teammate, my partner in the studio. We have Vera Phillip, the weather Oracle. Vera, how are you feeling this afternoon?
Well, it's great. I mean, I've heard you talk about the weather today. The weather has disappointed me a little. I'm not even gonna lie, because it
Disappointed you that it was inaccurate from what you said.
It said clear weather today. However, yeah, I saw clear weather, but it also predicted constant rainfall the entire day.
Yeah.
And then I told someone today not to wash their clothes because it was going to rain cat and dog. Yes, the sky was going to be clear, but we're going to have heavy downpour.
Yeah.
Guess what? The sun came out. That's not fair of me. But anyways, I know that we still have a rainfall that we're expecting today because the predictions will definitely go, in its favor. So it's definitely going to rain later today. It has already taken shape this morning. Yeah, so enjoy the sunlight while it shall last.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Which is why I said earlier that at the very least we've had like a 90-95% success rate, because so far it has been back-to-back correct predictions. So, Vera, today I saw this thing online, and before I talk about okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I think people take this issue of your hair too seriously. People take this issue of your hair too seriously, which is why I want us to talk about the topic today. Is your hair really that serious? Should you be addressed the way you carry your hair or the way you keep your hair? And there's this picture that's been trending online of some school children who were, their hair was cut because of course, we all know the way it is in the school life now. If your hair grows beyond a certain level, they cut it, in a way that shames you so that you can, on your own, cut the hair and bring it down to the level that they believe is fitting. And honestly speaking, even as a child, I always saw that as a humiliation ritual. That's the way I always saw it, because I grew up loving my hair. I grew up because even as a kid, as a baby rather, when I see pictures of my hair, it looks like I was, half foreigner. That's what it looks like. Very curly hair, and even till date, it is like that when I keep it long enough. Very curly hair. If I leave it, it goes down, in curls. If it gets wet, it's even worse, because it looks like people asking me, do you relax your hair? I say, I don't relax my hair, because that is exactly how the hair looks. So I've grown loving my hair. I've always been in love with my hair. Even my elder sisters, my, female cousins back then, they would make my hair. They would, braid the hair. They test their hands on it. And the first time I went to boarding school, I know it traumatized me, because I went to boarding school with a full head of hair. And it was shaved off. I cried for weeks. I would go to class, see everyone else with their, shine head, and I look at my own shine head, hold the tears. When I go back to the hostel, I cry in the bathroom, wipe my tears, go about my day, walk by the cafeteria, see my head reflecting in the cafeteria window, go back to the hostel, cry. So for me, it's like I lost a part of myself. And moving on, after I think it was around my senior secondary year, that's when we were giving a bit more liberty with our hair. That was in the boarding school, because it was the early years of our junior secondary, because our school was taught by foreigners, Indians, so they actually did not care. They couldn't give 2 cents about whether your hair was full, short, made, braided, weaved. They didn't care. All they cared about was, are you intelligent? Are you keeping up with schoolwork? Is your health okay? Are you mentally sane? That was all they cared about. So I had that freedom for a while. Once we got to the senior secondary level, things changed. I think the school went under new management, or they were in a way influenced. And in as much as the Indian teachers were not pressuring us to cut our hair, there was the Nigerian teachers that were always, cut your hair, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And when I went back to day school, it was still the same thing. And throughout, I was always asking this question: why am I being made to cut my hair? Why? What is the reason? And this happened years ago, I went to our history. Our history is rich of people that love their hair. Look at the likes of Wole Soyinka. His hair was a full afro. and he won a laureate, for crying out loud. So I saw that man. I was like, this man is considered one of the most intelligent men in Nigeria, and he keeps a full head of afro. You go to history, you see the likes of Albert Einstein, full head of hair, and you ask yourself, where did we get this, tradition where we started judging people? Because if you look at our ancestors, they did a lot of crazy things with their hair. Braided their hair, weaved their hair, decorated it with cowries, shells, precious stones, and so on and so forth. So it made absolutely no sense to me, which is why I asked Vera the question as to if you need to be judged, your personality needs to be judged based off of the way you keep your hair. Now, I can understand why some people would think certain hairstyles relate to certain individuals, because most of the individuals that keep that hairstyle are the ones that fall into that category. But at the same time, Vera, isn't that the definition of a stereotype? Aren't we trying to push against stereotypes? Because earlier last week, there was this doctor that newly got her degree, and because she had a full head of hair, beautiful looking afro, a lot of people were condemning her and telling her, a doctor with this kind of hair, why would I trust this kind of doctor? Maybe this one no near me, I no allow this one perform surgery for my body. And I'm like, are you trying to say all the years she spent going to school, all the years she spent grinding, struggling, and advancing to get a degree that majority of you that are judging her, you can't get, and you don't have? So because her hair is in that particular way, all of her hard work should be condemned? Which is why I asked, is hair really that serious? Because the measure to which people use the hair to judge you is crazy. A doctor that spent how many years in her field, just because of her hair, you're saying that this person is not worth their degree, they're not worth what they're practicing.
Well, to start with, if you're talking about our natural hair, especially as black people, right? Our natural hair comes as monument. Should I put it like that? To other people who are not blacks. So
Yeah.
you see our hair, they want to touch it. You're kind of like,
Oh, you have
amazed by
absolutely
it.
no
Yeah.
idea. When my hair is in an afro and I go to the mall, I at least see, if I run into 10 foreigners, at least 3 of them would look at me and be like, oh, yeah, they just look at my, and all of the entire 10, they're always looking at the hair. That's when I leave it in an afro. They're always looking at the hair because it's so full, it's so lush. And then some of them would want to touch it, especially their kids. They'll be like, I really like your hair. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So they look at our hair as a thing of wonder, like you said.
Yeah, so that hair obviously also represents who we are, and what we have been built to be as Africans, as black people. So I don't think that we are in the space and time, most especially, where we should be judging people by their hair. We are in a place where people should actually be encouraged to keep their natural hair. I saw a video of a lady on TikTok who said that she makes it an intentional effort to leave our natural afro hair for at least 1 week in a month. So every month she makes sure that she has her natural hair on, because she doesn't want to get used to artificial hair so badly that she becomes ashamed of her own hair. Which is also exactly what it is we're trying to preach. Of course, promoting our culture, especially those ones that do not have anything, or that are not harmful cultures or harmful traditions. These are like our hair. These are our trademarks, and they make us unique. They are the things that give us, a different look to every other person. It unifies us. It makes us different from the rest of the world. So if we are ashamed of the thing that makes us different from the rest of the world, then we are not proud of what we are or the roots that we come from.
Exactly.
So as Nigerians, as Africans, it's important that we preach it out, because there's so much copying happening in the world right now, especially with black people. There's just, I'm not good enough, so let me copy this set of people and look the way they do. Let me speak the way they do. No, we don't necessarily need to do that. Africa is becoming, I think billionaires have even said it, that Africa is becoming the hub of the economy in the world globally as we are going. So that means not only are we trying to promote Africa to be a hub of economy, we're also going to promote African culture. We're also going to promote our culture, our color. I mean to say, we're going to make sure that Africa is not just seen as a place that can be you can just come and take away from. It's a place you can come and see wonder, see how we have been living, see our culture, see our look, see everything that defines us as Africans. So when it comes to our natural hair, I would say that we do not need to judge ourselves for having our natural hair on, because so far you have come from the angle of natural hair and keeping our natural hair.
Yeah.
Just make it neat. That's the overall thing. Don't carry a hair that is not looking kept, right? Because that's also it goes a long way in addressing who you are as a person. If your hair is not looking neat or is not looking kept, it of course speaks volume about you.
Indeed.
But if you must keep your natural hair, or in short, keep your natural hair, and if you must keep it, make sure that it is neat. You're making it look clean. You're presentable with your hair. Your hair does not make people run away from a room. That is most important. But then promote our natural hair as much as we can.
Exactly, promote our natural hair as much as we can. I love the fact she said something earlier. In this day and age, this shouldn't be something that should be causing some problems.
Yeah.
And funny enough, there are some parents that have imbibed this, nature. They've come to this realization that it's actually not that serious. I grew up being tortured for my hair, and I never saw the point. So as far as I'm concerned, I will not raise my child to be tortured or to have this outlook that their hair is something that they should always cut off, something they should dislike, something that they should always keep at a level that they are not comfortable with. And there are several videos. There's this particular one where a doctor overseas was talking about how his son makes his hair, and he said the only rules he placed on his children were don't get tattoos, and I've forgotten what the last one was, but he said one of the stringent rules was tattoos. Don't get tattoos, but if you want to make your hair, go ahead, do whatever you want with your hair. And he advised Nigerian parents that it's not that deep. But the video we're going to take today is of a woman whose daughter's hair was cut to, made her look unsightly, and she went to the school to lay her complaint. Here's that video.
I am very, very angry now. Like, does this thing still happen at this time? Eh? Do teachers still cut students' hair at this time? I asked him.
That hair was patronizing, isn't it? She loses it from the day the hair was down.
She's not even the only one that said that to you. I asked other people. I asked her. She said the thing was. She said, "Abu, please." Can we know on the example?
Okay, go
it was happening at the assemble ground.
Yes, I hearing that you should not use wood.
See the way Madam head is now. Is she looking fine?
Hold on, madam.
Hold
on, madam. Is this the first time you are hearing that you should not plait your hair to school? Even answer they losing hair. Answer, is this the
we went for an occasion. Okay, wait, let me ask. This year is already 2 weeks. Auntie, this year is already 2 weeks. My anger is that people did not ask her to lose the hair. You did not ask her to. I'm only videoing myself. Please don't cover my camera. I'm not videoing your face. Leave me.
I couldn't play the entire video because of the video itself is extremely long, about 3 minutes. So I just wanted to get the part that basically speaks volumes, because in the entirety of the video she was really upset. She was like, her problem is, why did you cut my daughter's hair to make her look so unsightly? She doesn't look good. What you could have done is to inform me. Oh, we are not comfortable with this hair. We don't like the way this hair looks. Loosen, don't make the hair. For me, I'm short of words, because in as much as the lady could have addressed it better, because there's some parts of the video that had to be cut out because she used some very inflammatory words. She insulted the principal, insulted some teachers, and it's mostly because, well, they were kind of rude to her to begin with. But I'm not saying that is a good reason as to why she insulted them, but I'm just letting you know that she insulted them because this happened. Now, I would want to ask Vera, I can understand an organization having certain rules. I can understand setting certain standards and expecting that if you want to, indulge in our services, you need to follow our rules and regulations. I can understand that, and that's another reason I'm really grateful for our chairman, Sir Mike Anthony. He was lenient when it came to my hair. Funny enough, when we spoke about my hair, I was like, I'm not going to cut my hair. Honestly, my hair is sacred to me. I love my hair. It's a deal breaker for me. But he was like, okay, the best we can do is, instead of keeping it an afro, it's really not that deep. It's just a matter of, who are you as a person? What's your character like? How do you express yourself? what do you have in your head? It doesn't matter what you have on your hair. You could have, a full head of locks, and the way you present yourself, the way you address a room, the way you carry yourself, people have no choice but to respect you. There was this seminar I went for a while back. He, unwrapped it from his shoulder. It would have gotten to his ankle. It would have gotten to his ankle. That's how much hair he had, dreads. And once they called him up, I looked at him. I was like, huh? This is who they call to come and speak in a seminar where there are millionaires, famous businessmen, political figures.
Yeah.
And this is who they called up to speak. And I told myself, if his hair is that important, how come he is up there and you are down here? And I had to shut up about what's on here. It's about what's in here. And when he spoke, he even addressed it. He was like, one of the reasons I love keeping my hair is because when I walk into a place, people look at me with this, what does this one have to offer? They look at me they give me that gaze. But when I begin to speak, that's when they're shocked. And for me, I love that shock. So when it comes to following the rules, when it comes to following the, regulations set by an organization like a school, for example, don't you think the parent is entitled to be told, like she was asking, why didn't you at least inform me before you take the poll? And then let it be that she disobeyed or she refused, and that's what caused the problems. So don't you think when it comes to organizations like that, the person, the child, the individual is entitled to be given that choice? Okay, this is the way we run things here. It's either you accept it or you leave, or you tell them, okay, we want you to do this, do that. Don't you think they're entitled to that? Because that's what upset her.
Yeah, so they are actually entitled to that. And I'm going to say another thing to Tammy. Discipline or trying to put yourself in a certain look, right, might not always sit with everybody well, but it's how you navigate it. And you have losses too while you're navigating. And I'm going to use this man you talked about, for example.
Yeah.
If he sits down to tell you the journey of how he has gotten into rooms, or the rooms that he has been rejected.
Wow.
Exactly, rejected in. Now, not because these people don't want to hear him out, but because in life there are so many people to pay attention to. Let me put it like that. For example, if I'm conducting an interview here, and there are like hundreds of people coming for this interview, my criteria would definitely change whatever it is I'm looking for. It's going to start from the physical. In fact, it's going to start from the way you walk in. Because now what do I want? I want to reduce the number. To be able to see you, everyone is captivated by what they see first. And if you're trying to do business with someone, you're going to find a way to get to that person, what that person wants first. Okay. And that's how it works. So when people try to employ you to do a job for them, or people try to, have you in the organization, they are looking at the possibility of you helping their business in the way they have figured it out in their head that they want it to go.
Okay.
All right. So that brings to the first fact of if people not accepting your hair in a certain way that it might look. For example, you mentioned our chairman who you had told about your hair. And what did he say next? You just have to be plaiting this hair. It means, okay, fine, I see the importance of hair. I see, and besides, I'm very sure that conversation, he had heard you speak, and then realized that this person is going to be an asset to me, but this is what's going to, be like a hindrance for me. Okay. And then they come to an agreement. Now, this person has a lot. So how do I make this person still look presentable enough so that in his mind, though, not yours, in his mind, how do I make this person still presentable enough so that he can be first seen and then heard? Because before anybody hears anything you want to say or anything, they first see you. Yeah. How you look, whatever it is that you look like. And there's nothing wrong with having hair, but also keeping it nicely, keeping it neatly is the another problem. Yeah. So when he does that, he has given a solution to, okay, you can keep your hair, but it's still going to look in a certain way. Now, for this particular video now, obviously there is a rule in this organization. Okay. Look a certain part, right? And that includes making your hair. So even if you want to keep your hair, there is a rule to plait that hair. Okay. Why can't you just follow that? When I was in secondary school, our principal usually do this thing. Every week we usually have hairstyles. I think 2 weeks we'll have hairstyles because the girls think we weren't a local, we're making our hair. So every time we'll have this whole hairstyle thing. every week there was a hairstyle for us to make.
Okay,
and then
that's interesting. This is the first I'm hearing
yeah,
of this.
when we got to like senior secondary, now it now became, oh, because we are senior students, we were not following the rules any longer. You know, SS2, SS3 students were not following rules any longer.
I understand that.
And I remember one time our principal came to, or like, keep reiterating, you people make your hair, do like we don't used to make our hair, we'll pack the hair, we're just forming freestyle. We're almost graduating.
You're about to leave now, senior girls and senior boys.
Very early in the morning while we're having our morning prayers, our principal came, and then she stood outside of the chapel right after our morning prayers, and everyone was coming out because our chapel had just one entrance and one exit, right? The other part was the sacristy. If you're Catholic, you understand the sacristy, right? And those parts were only for maybe mass servers and of course the priest. So there was only one entrance and one exit, right? And this exit now, she says everybody come outside in one single file, boys one line, girls one line. Even at this point, we are not aware what our principal is trying to do. And bear in mind, she was one of the sweetest principal. Like my formative years, I would give it to this lady, Sister Laurentia AC, and she did an amazing job raising us, right? Then in secondary school. So she was like, everybody should like one single file, the girls this way, the boys this way. Obviously, the junior students, everybody passed. You got to senior students level. When we realized what was going on was when she sees your hair and she tells us to step aside. She sees your hair and tells us to step aside. And we're like, hey,
I don't
we have entered. Even at this point, we do not have any idea what the problem or what it is that she's going to do. Do you know what happened to most of us that day? We lost our hair. She put scissors in our hair.
Are you serious?
Now, obviously,
like
no, you know the funny thing? The way she cuts it, you would definitely go and cut the remaining part. She cuts it here, in the middle. So there's no way you have to go cut the hair out.
Even a bad head.
Leave it there for you. Very embarrassing. So you have to go and... So now the thing is, at that time, we're this man is wicked. Oh, no, we're crying. See our hair. But there was a rule. There was a law. You had to follow this. You know, at the time, we probably have not realized what it is we've done as well. They're just saying, oh, it's not that serious. Our hair, you know. But there is a rule, and funnily enough, even when you sin against God, there's a consequence for that action. Even if you ask God for forgiveness, there's a consequence. They're forgiving you. He's not holding it against you, but there's a consequence for that action. And that is it, even in life.
Okay.
So if you're saying that, oh, I'm not going to do my hair, and there's a rule and there's a law, you can't. They've said everybody has to come into this building. Make sure you plait your hair. You now come into that building, and guess what? You're representing that building, or you're coming to seek for something from that building, and then you come in with your hair scattered. You will go back. Not because they don't appreciate your hair, but it's a rule you have to follow, and it's not your rule. And in this life where we are, you need to bend your back until you have your own brand. Now, people like Derele that you see that have their own styling and all of that, if they tell you the journey, the times they've had to shrink as well, and at the time that you also have to be smart enough to know where not to shrink, because you're creating a brand. It takes a lot of consistency. So even with your hair, no matter what it is you want to look like with your hair, right? Keep it clean and neat. That's how you get into rooms. They say your appearance takes you into rooms. Your intelligence keeps you in that room, right? And attitude too keeps you longer. So if you cannot appear a certain way that will take you to that room, obviously there's nothing else that's going to give you any space to even, maintain yourself in that room. It's one thing to grow yourself as a person. Then how do you get into your room? That's the first thing. How do I get into this room? What does this person want? What is this person looking at? Are people that are usually here that have met our Nigerian billionaires and have gone, especially filmmakers who go there to ask for sponsorship. If they tell you their story, I've heard Shan Just say one time that when she went to ask I think that was Dangote or Tedala, I can't remember which of them, and then she asked for 6 million naira at the time for her project, and he did not give to her because she later came to find out that 6 million as an unserious person. So if she had done her due diligence of checking what will take me into this room, what will I say to this man that this man will
and what would bring me out of this room with what I came here for.
Want. Exactly. So for another person, if she had met another person would be like, oh, 6 million, that's good. But for this man to release money for you, how do you need to get him to hear you? And that was what she didn't do at the time. So at the end of the day, we always all need to enter a room, and what it takes to enter that room is what you have to do, even if it means plaiting your hair, cutting your hair, lowering your hair. You have to do it to get into a room.
Okay, we're going to go on a very short break, and I hope you're enjoying this intensity because it's not going to die down until we round up. So don't go anywhere. This still is CEMTV's Jolly Life. We'll be right back.
This is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
Viewers, the ones watching us live on YouTube and the one watching us, on their free-to-air decoders, Nicomsat, and so on and so forth. Now, for those of you watching us on television, we played you Wizard Chan, Oliver, and for those of you on YouTube, of course, due to copyright infringement, we just have to play you our voice of the people. But that's also entertaining. I mean, dare I say it's as entertaining as Wizard Chan's song. But of course, that's a conversation for another day. This still is Jolly Life, and I am Emmanuel Tamuno Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And of course, I'm not alone. I am with the delectable weather oracle, Vera Phillip. Now, we're talking about, is hair really that serious? Because of course, there is a picture trending online of young Shane, and it's really sad, honestly speaking, because these children will have to go home, and of course they'll have to go home looking like that, all because they kept their hair. If you can see the student right behind him, you can see that his hair, in as much as it is, not cut, it's not as low as the school wants it, his hair still looks neat. His hair looks well kept, and these ones whose hairs have been cut, it is still looking well kept, looking well combed, and looking well taken care of. But it's just the fact that the hair is beyond a certain degree where the school considers to be acceptable. Now, Vera has given us some nuggets of wisdom, but of course I still have some, some disagreements I'd like to air, because why are you laughing? Don't laugh, matter. We are fighting. We are fighting because I'm pro hair.
At the end of the day,
we
have to disagree to agree. At the end of the day, we have to disagree to agree. So I'm waiting to hear your side of the disagreement.
Now, my disagreement is this. You've talked about how, the hair needs to look neat. The hair is neat and the hair is beautiful. But then, just because they have this personal bias, or they've been raised with this mindset that if your hair goes beyond, I remember back then in school, they'll tell you, if I can hold onto your hair like this, if I can hold it like this, it is already too long. I want to be able to, like your hand, I want to be able to do like this, and I can't feel your hair. Until it's like this, that's when your hair is acceptable. I know I faced that a lot in school, and honestly speaking, I'm guilty of being one of the students that went home and came back with his bare head. I was a revolutionary. I was the rioter of my time. They will cut my hair like the way they did those children, and I'll come back to school with it. Come back to school with it for like 3 weeks before they call because when I go home, I'll put on a hat, put on a cap, and of course you're at home now. Your parents will question you why you wearing cap, and of course the school will expect that once he goes home, his parents will see his hair. So I can do that. Your daddy see you with this hair. I won't say anything. So it gets to a point with cap, and then you remove the cap. By that time, the hair is still full, but hair has already started growing out, and that's when it's a cause for complaint. But the hair is well kept. The hair is neat. Like one of those students I was talking about in that picture, his hair was neat. His hair was well kept, and it isn't even as full as some others. Look at the child, the third child in this picture, the one whose hair hasn't been cut yet.
Yeah.
He is in that line because, of course, he is guilty.
Yeah.
So you can look at his hair. It's not an afro. It's not full.
And when I was going to secondary school, one of the things that was put into consideration of choosing a school for me was, do they plait hair in that school?
Likewise.
I have this thing with my head that I usually tell myself I have this flat head, so I'm not like, if I have to do a low cut, I love to do a low cut. I prefer a low cut. However, I have to style it. It has to look. I can't just do moro on my head. I have to style it. It has to look a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So that was the consideration as well. Like, oh, what exactly can we do in this school? And what can we not do? And again, this is a school.
Okay.
With its structure. When you're going to school, when you're going anywhere, even if you're looking for a job, you have to look for what fits you. For example, the other day the police stopped me and a friend. We were going somewhere, and then stopped us, and immediately the police saw him. He was laughing. As he started laughing because he knew the police stopped us because of his look.
Of him, yeah.
So the police came. I was like, "Why are you laughing?" And he said, "I know you're stopping me because of my looks." He wasn't. He had a low cut on, but he had earrings on, right?
Yeah.
And the police was like, "Okay, so why are you now looking the way you're looking?" He now said, "I'm a creative. I don't do a 9 to 5. I'm a creative." Started to mention the thing that he does as a creative. Now that gives you liberty as a creative.
Yeah.
If you were doing a 9 to 5. There are rules in a 9 to 5 workspace. You can't look a certain way. You cannot say because I'm a creative and you go to go and do a 9 to 5, you people are going to allow me to look the way I want to look. It's not possible. So if you're entering into school, your school says this thing that happened here now is the same thing that happens in my school. Everybody must be on low cut.
Okay.
Boys, your hair must be neatly cut, and girls, your hair must be neatly plaited, and then we had styles for it then. If you do not cut your hair, some schools will send you back home. That's your own punishment. While other schools will take that hair off since you don't want the hair there. But it happens anyways, both ways. At the end of the day, I still reiterate what I said before, which is rules that govern wherever it is that you find yourself. And in this case, it's a secondary school, it's a school, for God's sake. Like, you really need to adhere to rules. That is even how you submit in secondary schools. That's how you even show that there's some sort of superiority. There are people who control those children in school. When rules are made and when they break these rules, they can be punished for it. Is that punishment extreme? It's personal to everybody what that answer would be. Some parents might not like it, some would be okay with it, but at the end of the day, they've passed the message. You do not have to break rules, and that rules includes cutting your hair. Yeah, damn it. But now I see schools, right? I see schools, especially Gen Z, Gen Z or Gen Alpha schools now.
Gen Alpha schools
that have actually changed. I can see children now who go to school with dreadlocks, like children about 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we've gotten there. So there's some sort of progress when it comes to that. But you still see that your hair needs to look good.
Yeah.
Your hair still needs to look a certain way. It doesn't have to look well. But thankfully we started to progress in that light, because we have more creatives now, and creatives are also bearing children and putting
creatives are burning creatives.
Exactly. So we've seen that progress happen now. The best thing is to just send your child to a school that allows your child to be who they want to be with their hair on their head.
Well, honestly, for me, that's the answer. And for this lady who made the complaint, I would fault the school and say that they should have at least let her know first, which was her